Uda is a jobless clown who likes expressing all of his emotions until he meets a cold-hearted girl, and he makes it his life mission to make the girl feel warm emotions. It all begins with Kashiwata and Uda playing a card game called Old Maid, which revolves around the display of emotions, just like all card games. Kashiwata remains cold while staring at her cards, while Uda is busy tweaking like a damaged umbrella. Uda turns out to be a loudmouthed chicken who boasts to Kashiwata, telling her that he will ultimately defeat her in the card game, just to prove that he is a chill dude. He picks his card and waits for Kashiwata to point to the right card, while trying his best not to show emotions. However, Kashiwata ultimately crushes his baby ego by picking the right card and winning the game. Uda smashes his head into the table in frustration, but because he is a stubborn goat, he demands that they play one more round. Uda is prepared to show who is the boss in the new round, but just like before, the game ends in his defeat. Uda takes a minute to think about his defeat before demanding another round of the game. His classmate, Sada, tries telling him to put the fries in the bag, but he is too stubborn to listen. Uda is confident that he finally knows how he is going to defeat Kashiwata in the card game. Kashiwata shuffles the cards and distributes them, while Uda is busy watching all of her body movements. When it is time for Uda to pull a card, he pulls the Joker card, expecting her to at least twitch, but Kashiwata remains expressionless as ever. Deep down, she is actually relieved that Uda didn't pull the winning card. At this point, Uda is convinced that Kashiwata is using some sort of mystical powers. He tries getting her to show emotions, but he fails, and in the end, Kashiwata wins again, ultimately defeating the baboon head 3 times in a row. Later on, Kashiwata is walking through the school lobby when a spider suddenly falls on her face. Kashiwata comes to a stop and simply reveals that the spider startled her, but her facial expression doesn't say anything. It turns out that the spider was Uda's handiwork, just to get an expression from Kashiwata, but his plan fails. Uda, contesting for the most persistent man on the planet, tells Kashiwata that he will definitely try again another time. Not long after this, Kashiwata is minding her business, strolling through the school, when Uda appears like a failed Halloween project, trying to startle Kashiwata. Deep down, Kashiwata is surprised, but there is no expression of this on her face, which makes Uda's struggle yet another failure. Uda tries again in class by blowing a loud whistle behind Kashiwata's ear, but she remains motionless and expressionless like a statue. Uda cannot believe his eyes when he sees this, but he continues with his make Kashiwata show expression plan. Kashiwata is about to enter the classroom when she is hit with stickers, telling her to be more expressive. Even though the stickers almost flew into her eyes to blind her, she didn't even blink.
Come on, man!
Uda, at this point, believes that he graduated from the school of failure with honors. Frustrated about failing over and over again, he asks his friend, Sada, what he can do to make Kashiwata have expressions. Sada advises him to let it go because no matter what he does, there is no indication that Kashiwata will ever be expressive. Sada then asks him why he is particular about getting Kashiwata to express himself, and the moment Uda hears this, he figures out that it is story time. He narrates that it all started back at the school opening ceremony. Before he continues his dumb and boring story, Sada asks if he can go to the bathroom, but Uda screams at him to stay back and hear him. Uda reveals that the first time he met Kashiwata was on the day of the opening ceremony, when the cherry blossoms were in their prime. As the dumb and pushover dude that he is, he got attacked by a crow without any pre-existing provocation. While struggling with the crow, the bird lets its droppings on his well-ironed and neat uniform, causing him to scream at the crow. The crow enjoyed his pain and tried to get more by letting off more droppings on him, but he managed to dodge it the second time. Uda was busy cursing out the annoying discount eagle when he noticed that it actually let off its corroded intestine droppings on Kashiwata's head. Uda cannot believe that someone who got hit worse than him isn't moving or showing any emotions to it. Instead of saying anything or starting to whine about the trash on her head, Kashiwata just ignores it and continues on her way to school. This piques Uda's interest in her, and he decides to follow her like a baby stalker. In the course of following her was when he found out that they were in the same class, too. This only made things easier for him because ever since, he has been looking for a way to make her show expressions, but he hasn't succeeded even once. After Sada and his other friend are done hearing his dumbass story, they call Uta the biggest airhead for trying to chase after a crow. Uta screams at the two, telling them that the biggest takeaway in his story that the two uninterested chickens obviously miss is that Kashiwada annoys him. Later on, Kashiwada brings out her lunch in class to eat, but Uta is solely focused on everything that she is doing. Kashiwada grabs her bottle and starts to gulp the contents, but Uta immediately starts laughing at Kashiwada for falling into his trap. Uta reveals that he swapped the tea in the bottle with vinegar, and with this, he expects Kashiwada to show a bit of emotion as she drinks the sour vinegar. However, Uta is in for a big surprise because Kashiwada maintains her normal expression when she is supposed to be screaming her lungs out. This leaves Uta confused, and he walks to his table to drink from his own bottle. The moment he does this, he ends up spilling everything that he drank because it is vinegar. While coughing like an infected pig, he turns around to see if Kashiwada is laughing, but she is just her normal self. Kashiwada then reveals that Uta smirked a little when he was staring at her bottle, and this is when she figured out that Uta is up to something. This is what gave him up, and she wasted no time swapping the bottles back. Uta almost loses his mind because Kashiwada is basically telling him that he is the most obvious and expressive person she has met. Uta's friends can clearly see that Uta has become the victim when he is supposed to be the predator. Uta is about to walk away in anger when Kashiwada slightly drags him back to tell him that she actually likes him for being expressive. Uta thinks this is pure sarcasm coming from Kashiwada, but she reveals that she is being serious. It soon turns into an awkward couple moment between them, leaving the other students to start wondering what the two have going on. While Uta is busy screaming in frustration, Kashiwada returns to her seat, and she seems to have let off a little smile, but Uta is too busy to notice. Shortly afterward, Uta calls a strategic meeting with his friends, all in the name of getting Kashiwada to be expressive. Uta reveals that the first thing he is going to do is to monitor Kashiwada all day because there is definitely going to be a moment when she changes expression. Because of how mysterious Kashiwada is, Sada and the third dude also say they are going to help Uta watch Kashiwada. The following day, Uta and his friends kick their plan into motion. They resume to class very early, but to their surprise, Kashiwada is already there. They stay by the door to keep themselves hidden from the mysterious girl. During the first period, Uta whips out binoculars just to monitor everything that Kashiwada is doing in class. In the second period, which is the physical exercise period, Uta remains hot on her tail. Uta almost nukes himself during the third period, which is a chemistry practical in the process of monitoring Kashiwada. Even in the fourth period, Uta makes sure that he doesn't give Kashiwada any breathing space while she is busy solving mathematics on the board. At the end of the day, Uta holds a meeting with his friends, and he reveals his frustration that Kashiwada's expression didn't change even once during the entire day. Sada, on the other hand, is able to gather useless statistics about how Kashiwada blinked 15 times in 1 minute. Uta thinks their entire plan is ruined until he learns that there is still a cleaning duty after school. He asks his friends where Kashiwada will be cleaning, and they tell him that she is in charge of the pool. Just as expected, the trio hides behind cover to watch Kashiwada carry out her cleaning duties, while hoping that she lets off any form of emotion. Momentarily, news reaches Kashiwada's cleaning mates that there is a raccoon in the area, and this causes them to all abandon their duties just so that they can see the raccoon. Even though Kashiwada is interested in seeing the raccoon, she has to maintain her cold personality. Kashiwada continues cleaning, and when Uta realizes that her cleaning mates are not coming back, he decides to enter the pool. He walks up to Kashiwada, looking like the least suspicious person. He tells Kashiwada that he has a treat for her, and he suddenly whips out the water hose he is hiding behind him. Uta is confident that he has Kashiwada in his grasp, but to his surprise, Kashiwada pulls an acrobatic move to dodge the water. He ends up spilling the water on himself, and as if this is not enough, his friends hit him with water guns. They even betray him by bringing a spare for his ops. Uta finds himself engaging in a water fight against 3 dudes. The 4 enjoy the moment of splashing themselves with water without even realizing it. One of their teachers soon shows up to ruin the moment, and he scolds them for running on a concrete surface, which is risky. After the boys are done getting scolded, they have no choice but to join Kashiwada in cleaning the pool. Kashiwada appreciates Uta's help, and she thanks him, But Uda tries to maintain his ego by telling Kashiwada not to thank him. Uda then stays on his tail throughout the entire cleaning service, forcing out a new level of frustration in him with every minute that goes by. Thanks for watching until the end, and leave a comment if you think they ever saw the raccoon.